speed to the city streets.
The soft ding of the elevator echoed in the near empty office building as you stepped inside. You let out a sigh, your shoulders were hanging low. The interview you had prepared for last 2 days had been cancelled. The receptionist said that they didn't need to hire more employees because they already found a suitable person for that job. The weight of failure pressed down on you, your fingers tightening around the strip of your bag which you carried on your shoulder. Just as the doors began to close, a hand shot out to stop them. You looked up as the door slid open to reveal a tall man. The man was breathtakingly handsome. He had broad shoulders, wearing a black leather jacket that clung to his chest. His black hair was tousled in a way that looked effortlessly stylish. He moved his head a little, a sharpness of his strong jaw and got more visible. He glanced at you, only to see if he had a male or female in the elevator. For years, the man had been known as the most dangerous mafia of the underworld. Jeonjungkook had learned to suppress his emotions, burying them beneath a layer of control. You looked at him with your big innocent eyes. Jungkook's heart raced. To him, you looked so out in the cold metallic confines of the elevator, like a flower blossoming in the shadows of storm. You stepped back, feeling the intense stare. You frowned, not able to get that why he was looking at you. Wine, excuse me, may I know the reason of your stare? You asked in your sweet, angelic voice, which snapped Jungkook back to the reality. Jungkook, who? You perhaps had a rough day, he asked in his deep, husky voice, which sent shivers down your spine. Why and how do you know? You asked, your eyebrows scrunched. Jungkook, I can say more. Only by looking into these eyes of yours, he said. You flinch. Why, it is none of your business, mister. You said, crossing your arms. Jungkook scoffed. Before he could say something else, the elevator dinged again as it signaled that you reached the ground floor. As the door slid open, you gave him a sharp eye and stepped out the elevator. Jungkook frowned, looking at your retreating figure. Jungkook, this girl is not the ordinary one, he said to himself. At 9 a.m., you pushed open the glass door of the small cafe which your father had run for as long as you could remember. You frowned when you witnessed the two men packing up chairs, table, and shelf. Wine, what's going on here? You asked, approaching your dad, who was ordering the men to do hurry. Dad, the cafe is sold, he said, not bothering what impact you would have of his words. Wine, what? You asked shockingly. Dad, you heard it right, dear. The cafe has been sold. Why? But why, Dad? It is our home. Dad, I sold it because I was not getting any profit from this cafe. I have been drowning in debt, and this cafe never brought enough money. You clench your hands. Why? Dad, how you can say something like this? You brought the bread at home just because Mom left this cafe for us. We were able to have food because of this cafe. Dad, oh, you are getting angry with your dad. Tell me, you went for an interview today, right? What happened? Did you get the job? He asked. You remained quiet as you were not that much confident that you couldn't get the job also. Dad, no answer. I knew it, dear, I knew it. That's why I have decided that you will get married to Mr. Shin's son, David, he said coldly. Why, no. You said that you knew really well what kind of person the David was. He is spoiled. Dad, but why? Why you don't want to marry him? He asked, looking at your face. Why? Because I don't like him. You said in a matter of fact tone. Dad, does that matter? Does? I'm pretty sure you two will become happy, he said, showing you his reassuring smile. Why? Seriously, Dad? You asked in a disbelieving tone. Dad, what's wrong in it? We are already poor, so don't be stubborn. Ryan, you are so bad, Dad. You never cared about Mom or me. You said, pushing the rising tears back, but it rolled down on your cheeks. Dad, don't say anything. You are going to marry David, and that's it. Ryan, no. You secreted him with full rage to stand up for your rights. Dad, watch out your mouth when you are talking to me. You glared at him. Ryan, I want that. You said and walked to the outside door. But soon you were shown back to the cafe by two men in black suits. They were different from the men who were packing the belongings. You looked at your dad, who had a devilish smile on his face. That's so sad, isn't it? Actually, your dad knows your intentions really well, dear. I know you were trying to escape, and I will have to spend my whole life like a beggar. So I requested Mr. Chin to hire two bodyguards for you, dear, he said. You looked at him in a disbelief. You knew your dad always protected. Dad, we will pretty daughter tomorrow get ready in time because you will meet your soon to be in laws, he said in a teasing voice. He knew you were pissed off, but still he was doing that to make you more pissed off. You gave me your nose was flaring badly while your hands were clenched into fists. Dad, the anger is not good for your health. You are soon to get married, dear. He told the bodyguards before walking out the cafe. The bodyguards approached you and they took you to the car. The driver started the engine, headed back to your home. Dad, stay here. The horse is being observed by Mr. Jin himself. If he saw you escaping or doing something, he wouldn't give you a second. Ryan, I won't, and you will know it sooner. You said, on which your dad let out a scoff that, oh, so sad, there is no way to escape. He said, and waving at you teasingly, he left from there. As he left, you curled up on the bed and started to cry heavily. Ryan, why you left me, Mom? Why you married to this man? You mumbled to yourself and didn't realize when you fell into sleep. The next morning, you were sleeping peacefully when the room door swung open and two young women stepped in. Seeing your sleeping figure, they both looked at you and one of them motioned to the other to wake you up. She nodded, pulling off the blanket. Woman, get down the bed. You need to get ready, she said in a crisp voice. You rubbed your eyes, looking at them with confusion. Woman 2, we have been sent here by Mr. David. He commanded us that we need to get his wife ready as he is coming to see her. You are still sleepy, so you fall down on the floor. They both laughed. Ryan, are you paid to make fun of someone? Did you think if I tell him that you fall me down on the bed, you list the last four words only to make them scared? The women looked at each other. Sweat was pouring down from the faces of them, which made you smile. Woman, we are sorry, Miss Ryan. Please don't tell him, they both said in a pleading voice. Ryan, well, I will think about it later. Saying that, you got off the floor and went to bathroom. As you came out, they both set their makeup accessories on the vanity. You sighed and walked to the wooden chair. Plopping down on it, you looked at your reflection in the mirror. Ryan, after an hour, you were ready by those women. Woman 1, oh my, you look incredibly beautiful, she said. You glared at her, which made her shut her mouth. After a while, Dad, oh my daughter looks so pretty. Are you excited to see your soon to be in laws? He said in a teasing voice, even knowing the fact you were angry. Dad, come let's walk to them, he said. As soon as David's eyes fell on you, he stood up from a sofa with the wide eyes. He still couldn't believe that you were going to marry him, Mr. Jin. Oh, welcome, welcome. You roll your big, innocent eyes, which made David bit his lips. David, seems like the girl going to give me. Dad, dear, sit down, he said, making you sit near David, who felt on cloud nine. David, hey, he said, jumping excitedly on the sofa. You thought in your mind as you forced a smile at David, only to fool him that you were okay with this marriage. Mr. Chin, we have decided the marriage date, dear. You and David is going to marry tomorrow. Isn't it really a good news? He said, looking at your face you were trying your best to control. David, Uncle has the only one day left in our wedding. I want to buy a wedding gown for Ryan. If you won't mind, can I take her out? Dad, oh my son, you do not need to ask for permission, he said, ignoring your stare. At store, you both walked in a wedding store. It was huge and was full of beautiful branded wedding dresses, but you had zero interest. You kept looking around blankly until Devil held your hand and walked to show you the specific dress he liked for you. David, I think this one will compliment you, he said, pulling out the dress. He showed you the dress, and you could feel your eyes pop out. Ryan, you want me to wear this? You asked David. Yeah, this is nice and beautiful. Ryan, as you wish. David, that's my girl. By the way, you know why I brought this one? He said in a low voice. You shook your head. David, he took you outside to his car as you both headed back to your home. The wedding day, you were sitting in front of the ornate mirror as the same two women were doing your makeup. Woman 1, your makeup is done, ma'am. You can go into the bathroom and change, she said politely. She looked at the second woman and then she touched your shoulder, breaking the chain of your thoughts. Why and who? Woman 1, you need to change in a bridal gown, she repeated once again. Ryan, oh yeah, well, your son is so cute. He's 5 years old, right? You asked to her. She got flinch hearing that. Woman 1, how do you know about him? She said, rolling the strand of your hair. Woman 1, what? I can't do. She was speaking out, but you cut her off. Ryan, okay, fine. Woman 1, no, no, please don't. We will help you to escape. She looked at the second woman who nodded her head. After a while, Ryan, haven't you done yet? You asked as they both were tying long two ropes from the window railing that ran parallel all the way down the building. Woman 1, it's almost done, she said, towing the rope more stronger. Woman 1, it's done. Hold on the rope tightly and slide down. Ryan, your son is safe. Your driver husband is very innocent who told me about your son. You said before landing on the ground on back. They both looked at each other shocked. On the other hand, man, post please, he said to Jungkook. He grabbed the vase from the table. Jungkook, Jeon leaked the information. Man, boss, please don't be angry. We will change the plot, he said. Jungkook, how I stay calm. Back to Ryan. You were running as fast as you could in a jungle while David and his men were chasing you. You were running through thorns and shrubs. You were running and catching your breath for a minute or two. When you got a chance, you were looking around, finding a place or spot to hit, but the jungle was not going to finish. You panicked. After a while, you looked back, searching. You left them far behind. Finally, you reached the spot where jungle started to come to its end. You saw a dark mansion. The lights were lit inside. You looked up to see that the third floor window was open. There were a lot of bodyguards standing on the entrance door. You couldn't risk your life by going that way. You started looking around and finally you found the ladle. A sigh of relief left your mouth. You somehow picked the ladle and stood it against mansion's wall. And then you started to climb up. Reaching the top, you opened the window and jumped inside. You brushed off your scum before standing up from the floor. You saw a man standing there. The man turned around to look at you. Your eyes met with him. And the moment you realized that he was the same leather jacket man whom you saw in the elevator, Ryan, save me. My name is Ryan. Jungkook's point of view. I was really pissed off after what that Jeon did to me, so to reduce my anger, I decided to take a warm shower to relax my mind. While I was drying my hair in front of the dressing table, I heard a loud yelling which got me startled. I quickly turned around to see the girl, the one whom I met in the elevator. As I saw her more clearly, I noticed that was flowing down from her forehead. I looked at the window from where she jumped in. There was some blood on the glass window, so I reckon she accidentally hit her head with the glass before jumping inside. Was that girl a spy? Wasn't that Jim's family planning? Or she was supposed to be an hunt? I was not able to figure out why and save me. She mumbled looking up at me and then fainted. While I was walking to her, my room door swung open and my man came in. Man, boss, please. She could be a spy. Lucas, my right hand, yelled out, but I didn't care. As they left, I picked wine from the floor. Oof, this innocent soul, no one can mistake her as a spy. But why she was running? Who was chasing her? While I was staring at her innocent face, someone knocked at the door and then stepped inside. I turned around to see Lucas. Lucas, boss, Master Jeon has sent an important message for you. He said. I nodded my head and walked out the bathroom. After some time, you woke up to see yourself laying on the king size bed. You groaned, feeling your head spinning. Why, he didn't do anything to me. He seems a nice man, you muttered to yourself. After a while, the door opened and an old man carrying a food tray stepped inside. She gave you a suspicious look. You looked at her while placing your hand on your forehead. The woman bent down, opening the drawer. She took out a bandage box and then she sat on the bed beside you, woman. Young master asked me to treat your wounds, she said. Woman, it's done. Now have the soup before it gets cold, she said and then left. After a while, Jungkook entered in a room. He smiled when he saw you. Your bandaged hands were supporting your bent posture to reach the bowl placed on the table. You looked at him. Jungkook, why aren't you drinking it with a spoon? He asked while walking towards you on the bed. Why? Because it's warm, you said. Jungkook, let me help you. He sat on the bed and taking the bowl in his hands, he blew it cool. You pouted and then started to drink the soup. After a while, he placed the empty bowl on the side table and then spoke. Jungkook, who is chasing you? Why you were escaping? He asked. Why? I ran away from my wedding. You narrated the whole story. Jungkook felt really bad for you. Before he could continue, the door's room opened and Lucas entered. In Lucas' pose, someone came and asked for man for or girl. We assumed that they were searching for this girl. Jungkook, good job. Why? No, please, they are dangerous. They might hurt. You said in your innocent voice. Oh, Jungkook, they can't be enough dangerous. He said, giving you a bright smile. Your eyes widened, hearing that. Before you could utter some word, they both left the room, leaving you shocked and bewildered behind. After 6 months, you came in bedroom and then you took the shower. After showering, you did a light makeup on your face and slipping into a red gown, you sat on the bed. You had already off all the lights and put some perfume candles. The room was looking so beautiful because of the candles. Just then the room door creaked open and Jungkook entered. Jungkook, hi, he said. You blushed heavily looking around. The note on the side table said, have a beautiful night, Mr. and Mrs. Jungkook.